So earlier, I did a video. The video was maybe a minute long. So it was a short video, a real short video. But I did a video about the situation going on with Deion Sanders. So what I'm doing now is I'm doing another video about the same topic, but it's gonna be a little bit longer. So again, Deion Sanders is caught up in he's caught up in yet another situation where he was doing an interview, and during the interview he broke down his methods when it came to his the way he recruits athletes at a collegiate level. So when he was explaining that, he mentioned about quarterbacks. Okay, he was saying that because of quarterbacks, when it comes to their academics, they have to have a minimum of 3.5 GPA, which is understandable. You know, you as a good coach, and we all know Coach Prime is a real damn good coach. Good coaches want to set higher standards for their players. They want to set high standards for their players, and that's what he did. So he goes out there and he says during the interview, he says that you have to have a 3.5 GPA at a minimum. Okay. Now this is with quarterbacks. Now this pertains to quarterbacks. Now he also says that when it comes to recruiting quarterbacks, he also says that they have to come from a nuclear family. And we all know that a nuclear family consists of a mother and a father, right? So when he says that, I'm sure that you already had people in society already raising the eyebrow. Because, but let's call for this, in today's modern society, you really can't talk about the nuclear family, because we have all these single parent homes coming out. We pretty much exist. We have all these blended families that exist. We have all these same-sex marriage families that exist. So you really can't talk about the nuclear family. So when he brought up that concept, you already had eyebrows going up. Now, he makes a comment about defensive linebackers. All right. And if you know anything about football, just like with any other sport, you want to have a good defense. So that being said, he wants his linebackers to be exceptional. He wants their performance to pretty much be on point, top notch, something to where he can create a winning track record. So when he mentions about the defensive linebackers, he says that I want my linebackers to be raised by, to come from single parent homes. And what he means by a single parent is he mainly means single mother homes. Now when he says it, he's kind of like mocking it in a way, because he's like, you know, I need some players who are like, you know, they're I can't remember exactly what he said specifically, but he's like pretty much to paraphrase it. He's saying, you know, I want my athletes to be hungry. You know, they gotta want to perform, because you know they gotta take care of mama. They gotta make sure mama is like taken care of. They gotta make sure mama, you know, is pretty much living better than what she is, or living better than the current situation that she's in. And you know, everybody's all in the uproar in the sports world, because they're like, how can a black man say that? Now, my thing is that, why would you get mad at him saying that simply because he's a black man? Is it that bad now in society where we believe that all black people were raised by single parent homes? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I wasn't raised by a single parent home. I had a mother and a father. Now, maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way, because maybe I'm not looking at it as if the black community is looking at it. I mean, I'm not looking at it in the way, maybe I'm looking at it wrong, because like, maybe I'm saying, because it could mean that black people believe that all black people raised by single parent homes, or it could mean because black people are predominantly led by single parent homes, black people should consider that and realize that to be something sensitive. But my thing is that, why? To me, that's not sensitive. Now, in a short video I released earlier, I said that mothers need to learn how to pick wisely. And that's actually a true statement. We have too many mothers out there in our community that are so quick to sit there and procreate with someone, mainly, I mean, of course, a man who doesn't have anything going for themselves. Like, it's not like the signs are hidden. Everybody can see the signs. All right? I keep lighting this up, and I gotta smoke it. I'm up here talking, and I haven't even started smoking the cigar. That's a big no-go. But anyway, the signs are there. It's not like they're hidden. You know, man, we got that smoky up in here. Hey. Damn. You know you got a good cigar when it lights up and it's smoking real nice. You know, that's a nice smoke. That's real nice smoke. That's when you know you got a good cigar. But let me get back to the point, because I keep getting sidetracked. But the signs are there. You cannot sit there and act like you don't see them, because they're not hidden. Everybody sees it. This is the reason why you have content creators that will sit there and they'll mock the dynamic of the female, mainly the black female and the black male relationship. They'll mock it. You hear it all the time. You know, they'll sit there and say, you know, these females, they too busy going out there having kids by Pookie and Ray Ray. And the reason why they're saying that, because they know exactly what Pookie and Ray Ray looks like. They know how Pookie and Ray Ray acts. They know how Pookie and Ray Ray dresses. They know how Pookie and Ray Ray talks. They know how Pookie and Ray Ray conducts business every damn day. These content creators, they know this. And if they know this, everybody knows this. So, you got these women. They go out there and they have these kids all willy-nilly, you know, with any damn John Doe, without vetting the potential mate. You know what I'm saying? So, after they done had the children, then all of a sudden it's like they get a wake-up call. You know, they get a call from God saying that, you know what, you made the wrong decision. And what happens is now they're now starting to get into a stage where they're looking at all black men as the same, when we're not. But that being said, because they look at all black men as the same, what they do is, in their minds, they're saying to themselves, they're going to train their sons to be the man that they want them to be. which is kind of funny because if you're gonna really go by that logic, then you really want your son to be the same goddamn guy that got you that you got impregnated by. So how the hell you gonna sit there and want your son to be the man that you really want him to be? So you call yourself trying to raise him that way when you didn't pick that man in the first place. You didn't pick that type of man in the first place. But anyway, that being said, you raise your boy to where you want him to be the man that you want in him, but you get so invested into the moment that you're now going into a stage where you want your son to be your son husband. Because you're already attached to him. So your emotional bond is already there. It might not be the same emotional bond that you had for the child's father, but you still have some type of emotional bond. And because you already crossed that threshold, you're now starting to catch a feeling where you want your son to be your husband. And now you have your son going out there thinking as if he is your husband. I knew exactly what Deion Sanders meant. I knew exactly what he meant. Everybody else knew exactly what he meant. This is the reason why they're mad. Because he's calling out a problem that's been going on in the black community for decades. And it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Now, your sons, because they now have that mindset that you created in them, that it's their responsibility to take care of you, they're going to act accordingly. So what they're going to do is they're going to go into a stage where they are forcing themselves to mature faster than what they're supposed to be. Because y'all have that emotional bond. Now what's happening is your son is meeting you halfway. And what he's trying to do is, because if he's not meeting you halfway, he's trying to get there. So what he's trying to do now is he's trying to fill in the void of his father not being there in order to make you happy as a mother. So you know what he's going to do? He's going to frame his mind at a level to where he now thinks he's the husband. So instead of him going out and being a normal boy, instead of him going out there being a normal boy, at his age, he has to go out there and think like a grown man. Because see, you have to look. When you look at the other players, because see, when you're looking at athletes, you're just looking at the performance. Because you're there, regardless of what game it is. It could be baseball game, basketball game, football game. It doesn't matter. You're there to watch them perform. But you don't know their mindset. See, you don't know their mindset. See, that's the problem. You don't know their mindset. Now, it's not your job to understand, know their mindset, because you're not in a position to know their mindset. That's really a position for the coach to understand it. Right? Now, well, it's not like a position, it's more of a job. It's a coach's job to understand the player's mindset. He has to know where they're coming from. So that way he'll know exactly how to guide them he has to know how to guide them through the path that they have to go through in order to meet his objective. Right? So it's pretty much his job. But these boys, they gotta have that mindset to where regardless of what they're doing in life, particularly in games, because we're talking about athletes, they have to go out there and do their very best. And they're not doing their very best simply because just like everybody else, they want to pretty much get some type of personal growth, personal achievement. No, they're trying to do their best in order to get their mothers out of the situation that she got herself in, particularly because she was dealing with a man who wasn't about nothing. That's what they're doing. And because of that, what they're going to do is they're going to perform better than what the other players or their peers will perform. They're going to outperform them, because now it's not the fact that they have something to prove, it's the fact that they have a job they have to do. Because even though sports is supposed to be some type of, even though sports you're supposed to get some type of satisfaction from sports, that's not what they're doing. They're looking at sports as a job. But because even though they are looking at sports as a job, it benefits the team. Because if they have to go out there, they're looking at it as a job, and they looking at it as they have actually something they have to do. They have something to where they have to actually go out there and get in order to make this person lifestyle a lot more better. They're gonna go do it. They're gonna go do it. And honestly, if I was a coach, I'll take advantage of it. I'll take advantage of it. And that's exactly what Deion Sanders was trying to say. That's what he was trying to say. That's exactly what he was trying to say, and I understood it. I understood it because honestly, this problem been going on in the black community for a long time. It's been going on for a long time. So you have to understand, when I was in the military, during my time in the military, that was something I saw. When I got to a certain level to where I had to have soldiers, under my leadership, I took it pretty serious. I took it serious. But because I was taking it serious, I was able to see reality for what it was. And what I mean by that is that with all the group of soldiers I had, and I've always saw this, I couldn't say anything about it. And I remember I was talking to 2 people, maybe 3 people in a conversation. And we was having a conversation. And we were all leaders in the Army now. And we were talking about, the behaviors of the soldiers. And I mentioned it, and I was like, now, I'm just going to tell you right now, it was 2 other black men that I was talking to. But when we were talking about the behaviors of the soldiers, I said that I've noticed a trend with me personally, that the soldiers I have a problem with the most are the soldiers, mainly the males. Sometimes the females, but mainly the males, who were raised by single mothers. Now, at first, I thought I was going to get some pushback. I thought they was going to look at me sideways. I thought they was going to look at me crazy because, that's something that you don't want to say. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like because I was talking to other black men, I felt comfortable to say it. Even though maybe I shouldn't have said it in a way. But I just it just happened to come out. And when I said it, instead of getting some type of response that was going to be somewhat of a pushback, they both looked at me and said the same exact thing. They said the same exact thing. And the reason why these young soldiers think like that is because they have a lot of pressure on them. You have to understand, being in the military is not a sport. The military is a whole different beast, because you got to understand, you got to have the mindset of survival. And because you have to have the mindset of survival, they have to train you that way. You go to 2 months of basic training, then you got to go to 2, 3, 4, 5 months, depending on your MOS, of more training. And then once you get done with your training, then you go to your actual unit, and you continue to do training from there. Whether it's mental training or physical training, it doesn't matter. But you're enduring a lot of stress, right? So with that being said, when you're going through that every damn day, with the exception of Saturday and Sundays, and maybe Saturday and Sundays if you're out there in the field doing field exercises, you also got to think about what's going on back at home. Now, you see, when I was coming up in the military, I didn't have to worry about what's going on back at home. Because why? Because my father, at the time, he was also in the military. He did 20 years, just like I did 20 years. But he did 20 years, and the entire time he was in the military, my father and my mother, they were married. They lived in the same house. Me and my sister, we from the time we was born all the way up to the time we graduated high school, moved out, it was a nuclear family. My father was there, my mother was there. And because my father was there, my mother, she didn't look at me as if I was supposed to be filling in a void. Because why? Because I didn't have to fill no void. Because why? Her husband was there. He was able to take care of her. But that's pretty much what we're dealing with, right? Because you have these boys out there, they got that additional stress on their backs. Let me tell you, man, there was times when I was a drill sergeant, right? I used to go to, and that was I used to go to the PX. And for those who don't know what the PX is, it's pretty much like a shopping center, except that it's for the military. You only find it on military bases. It's like your military Walmart. So you can find everything in there, and you get it for a cheaper price. It's not really, I guess, some items might be cheaper, but the only thing you're benefiting from is the tax, right? You're not paying taxes. But I used to go in there, and in the back of the PX, they have this customer service area. And when you go back there, you'll see people making returns of their items and stuff like that. Well, you also have what is called a Western Union line, a Western Union department. And when I used to go back there, almost every pay period now, I'll go in there and make my rounds with the other drill sergeants and make sure that soldiers because they're trainees. Oh, we have to go in there and make sure the soldiers staying out of trouble. They're wearing a uniform, so you got to make sure they're keeping the uniforms in accordance with the regulation. They're being professional. Even though they're off, they're still in training. So we go in there and do our checks or whatever, and normally there's a line in the back at the Western Union department. And that was at a time when Cash App was like becoming like a new thing, and so at that time people really didn't feel comfortable with using the Cash App. So I used to go back there and check up on the soldiers in line. Every single time, or every single every single pay weekend where the soldiers got paid, there was a line of soldiers sending money home. And the majority of the time, the majority of the soldiers that was in line were black. And I saw it. Now, this is something I never mentioned to nobody about, but I saw it. You go in line, you go over there and you go check in the back of check the line, and when you check the line, you probably have like 10 soldiers in line. You have 10 soldiers in line, and 9 of them be black. Now you have these soldiers that's far away from home, based depending on where they're coming, like where they're from, but they're far away from home. They're in training. They're just now coming into the real world. They're trying to figure this stuff out, and yet instead of them enjoying their weekends with their friends, at Burger King or McDonald's or in the PX shopping, they have to stand in line and send a little bit of money that they earned home to mama. Because why? Because mama has put them in a position to where they're the caretakers. They are the providers. They're the ones that have to sit there and work just to take care of their mom. Because their mom decided to go out there and have a one-night stand with a fucking Pookie or Ray Ray, and she thought because he had some fucking swag that's all that was needed to procreate with. And now that the motherfucker done sit there and took off on her ass, now she wants her child to grow up to be the goddamn husband. I knew exactly what Deion Sanders was saying. And for those black men in the sports world, like you got these anchors, you got these sports anchors out there, these news reporters out there that's talking about some. Well, how can he say that? He's a black man. As a black man, how can he say that? That tells me right there that those same individuals who's put in that same damn position. Because other men out there who are just like me, who's raised by a nuclear family, you know what I'm saying? We don't see nothing wrong with it. It ain't hurting us like that. Because we knew exactly what he meant. We knew exactly what he meant. I'm telling you women right now, mainly you black women, I'm telling y'all right now, y'all have to stop with that buffoonery. You have to stop with that buffoonery. It is not your son's job to take care of you. That is not his job. Now, if you become a widow, I somewhat understand that. If you become disabled, I get that. If you become old enough to where you could barely move and you could barely work because you can't move, I understand that. But when you're in your goddamn 50s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and you body able, and you walking around here playing games every goddamn day, and you sitting at the goddamn games, all up in front of the camera, taking attention away from your boy, bro. What like for what? Why is he taking care of you? Why is he taking care of you? Like, I'm sorry, man. A lot of y'all can disagree with me, man, but I'm telling you right now, I 100% agree on what Deion Sanders was saying during the interview. I agree exactly what he was saying. I agree with him. Or what he said. I should say that. I should say that. Let me correct that. I agree with everything that he said 100%. 100%. There's no need to take that the wrong way because everybody sees it. Everybody sees the hustle that you put that you women have put your sons. We have seen the hustle of you black women. We see y'all hustle. We know who is being used, and we know who the users are. Now, you know, you got some black women might sit there and say, well, it takes two to tango. I don't want to hear that shit because, yeah, it takes two people from the opposite sexes to procreate. But at the end of the day, you have the weapons. You have the laws, man laws, and you also have nature. You decide who you lay down with. Man can't make you lay down with them. Because why? Because we look at the man laws, that's considered the R word. I can't say the R word, but it rhymes with great. Just say the word great, but keep the G silent. I'll say that. So if we go out there and we try to make you lay down with us, that's pretty much what's going to happen. And we as men, we'll find ourselves sitting under the jails. So no, we can't make you do it. But guess what? You can. You the one that has the power. You the one who dictates who you lay down with and who not to. You the one who dictates who could procreate and who cannot. And for some reason, you black women, y'all think backwards. Because in most cases, y'all procreate with the undesirables. Y'all procreate with man that other women from other races won't even dare even approach. Other women from other races, they will approach black men, but they're not gonna approach the black man that you approach. They're gonna make sure that. But y'all got to get better because it's not right that you got your boys being raised to where they can't even enjoy their youth. And instead of them going out there learning how to ride bikes or climbing trees or you know, going to their friend's house and playing games and stuff like that, instead of them doing that, they have to go out there and, depending on their age, they got to go find a job. That's depending on their age, if they're old enough. But if they're not old enough, that's when the shit gets even worse, because now they have to go out there and join what is called gangs and get caught up in some junk. Because why? Because more than likely, dealing with gangs, they're going to get caught up in some junk. You know, like selling drugs. Just to make money to help you out, mama. Because your Pookie or your Ray Ray that had swag, it somehow seems that they can't provide for you. They gave you a child and walked off. Just saying. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you believe that Deion Sanders is right about his methods on how he recruits players? Or do you think that he went over the line and pretty much at a point to where you really can't support him? So just let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys later. If you like the video, please subscribe because it is a new channel. So subscribe, please subscribe. All right, subscribe. I know the channel is small, completely small, because it is a new channel again, but I want this channel to grow. So again, share it with your friends, share it with your family, and let them know as well to subscribe to the channel. And I'll continue to make these videos. All right. I appreciate your time. Happy Friday. I hope everybody enjoys your weekend. Hope everybody will enjoy their weekends. Stay safe, be blessed, and do not get caught up in any trouble. Peace.